Hi, it's David from Lifeboat, and I'll get right into it. I wanted to talk about the lockdown inquiry in Great Britain that's pending, but I'm up here above the Sea of Tbilisi in the country of Georgia. I'm on the northeast side of the sea, and I wanted to show you just the potential for some home sites up here. There's some people who have built houses, not overly dramatic, not overly ostentatious. Home sites up here would probably cost you about $50,000 for a plot, and another $50,000 to $75,000 to build a house. I think this area is going to become very well developed over time as people move here to Georgia to take advantage of the very friendly tax regime and the very low cost of living, which is like I've done. But what I wanted to talk about in this video was this public inquiry in Great Britain that seems imminent, and the purpose of this inquiry is two things. One is to exonerate the government of any criminal wrongdoing whatsoever, and the other is to pacify the British people, to make the British people think, hey, something's been done, the bad actors have been punished in some way, and we can now move on with our lives, safe in the knowledge that the next pandemic will be handled slightly more efficiently. So instead of locking down on March 20th, next time we'll lock down on March 19th. It's not going to address the question of whether lockdown should have occurred. It's only going to address the question of how we can do lockdown better. The people in charge of the public inquiry will be members of the establishment, there to protect the establishment. They will not be there to address whether the English Bill of Rights were violated and whether people in British leadership broke the law. These Telegraph files that have been released over the past week sort of center on Matt Hancock. I'm wondering if he's going to be a sort of sacrificial lamb, someone who is thrown under the bus because he's such an unlikable guy, because he's such a sociopath. But I think the real communications, which I mentioned in my last video, have been left out of these Telegraph files. Where are the WhatsApp messages from the IMF? Where are the WhatsApp messages from the WEF? Where are the WhatsApp messages from the EU and the WHO, undermining the British democracy and making sure that British democratic leaders answer to global government, unelected global government, rather than to the British people? That's why British government's lockdown policies were all copying other countries. They were not tackling the virus from the point of view of, British independent thought, starting with the question of where did the virus come from, and ignoring Carrie Simons' hysteria about banning wet markets worldwide. So I think that this public inquiry, these Telegraph files are sort of an opening salvo to release a bit of air from the pressure cooker of British public opinion that is hostile about the lockdown. Throwing the British people a bone, saying, we're going to sort out Matt Hancock and make sure he never works in government again. But, what about the wealth transfer? What about the trillions of debt that's been placed on the British people? What about all the laws in the English Bill of Rights that were violated? What about all the hysteria from vaccine companies and, all the excess deaths that have occurred subsequently? Who's looking into that? What about this cost of living crisis being blamed on things like the weather, when it's really all the money printing that occurred during the lockdown time? So the point of the lockdown, from my point of view, was wealth transfer, as a bailout of the financial system. And I'm interested really to know how many people in the British cabinet were sort of talking about that amongst themselves. They could be talking publicly about, hey, you got to stay 6 feet apart or 6 meters apart and all this kind of nonsense. But privately, they would have been speculating why they were involved in this worldwide event. I don't know if people like Matt Hancock think that laterally. They were just interested to promote their career and to talk about how great they were, trying to get on television as much as possible, try to have, blame Neil Ferguson for having an affair, but to have his own Me Too affair himself. I think people like Matt Hancock are just so self-absorbed, they don't look at the bigger picture. But I think other people in the British government must have speculated internally about what all this, the financial implications of this was, especially involving the Bank of England. Where are the WhatsApp messages from the Bank of England? regarding furlough, the importance of furlough, the importance of decreasing money velocity, and I think that if you're going to have a genuine public inquiry, those are the kind of questions that should be answered, and I'm pretty sure they're not going to be even asked or answered in what goes forward. These Twitter files in the United States were a big expose and embarrassment on the American FBI. I think the Telegraph files, or the lockdown files in the Telegraph, are a sort of sanitized version of those. It's to make the British public think this is, a massive expose, when it's really sensationalized information about Matt Hancock. It's using him as throwing him under the bus, using him as a sacrificial lamb to sort of cover up the more serious and sinister issues regarding the British government's involvement in the lockdown. So really nice views up here above the Sea of Tbilisi. If you're interested to move to the country of Georgia, you can get in touch with me. I've got a website which is lifeboatnow.com. The city of Tbilisi is right over there to the west, kind of behind that ridge, very, very close to here. Great thing about Tbilisi, you got beautiful home sites. Great to see this on a sunny day. I'll come up here when it's sunny so you can really see it in its full glory. And really easy to get established in Georgia. English is much more widely spoken than people think. It's very safe, and it's a very nice place to be if you want to escape the British cost of living crisis. I respect that some people are happy doing what they do and just happy watching my videos about the lockdown. And but if you're interested to look at an alternative option, maybe to invest, maybe to move to, maybe to just have a holiday home, country of Georgia offers a lot of great options. You get a 12-month rolling visa, and foreigners can buy land in the country of Georgia. So let me leave you here to ponder some of these lockdown thoughts I've raised, or the sabotage of the British lockdown public inquiry. It's going to be a whitewash, and very, very disappointingly. I really appreciate and respect people that watch my videos and that keep the pressure on the British establishment. The pressure against the lockdown finally told, and but you can never leave authoritarians alone. They've always got another plan to violate British civil liberties. So thanks very much for watching, and we'll talk to you soon.